Hello everyone and welcome to my Monaco Grand Prix preview of 2013. Now let's start off with the drivers' table. Currently Vettel leads on 89 points from Raikkonen on 85. 4-point lead for Vettel, very close in the championship. Raikkonen probably a lot closer than Lotus and himself were thinking at the start of the season. And then Alonso on 72, our Spanish Grand Prix winner. The crash in Malaysia really hurting him in terms of the championship. Hamilton 4th on 50 points, who is 1 point ahead of what Michael Schumacher achieved all season, but this is a completely different car, completely different season. Michael Schumacher had so many retirements last season. You can't really compare them and say Hamilton is so much better, because it's incomparable. You can't compare it. Then you got Massa, 45 points, doing a lot better than he did last year, because it took him up to Bahrain to score a point. And then I think Spain, I don't think he scored anything in Spain 2012. So really, really good stuff from Massa. He's on 45 points, 5 points behind Hamilton. Then it's Mark Webber. Now this is weird because he had a really good race in Malaysia, who he should have won if it wasn't for Vettel's arrogance and putting himself above the team. He's on 42 points, which is over double behind Vettel. But remember, Mark Webber had a retirement in China, which of course lost him a lot of points and many other things besides. Now Grosjean in 7th place sneaks into the top 10, well, quite far into the top 10 actually, on 26 points. Good job from him actually, because after the first few races where it seemed like he was a nobody, he was the only person to be in the points every single race, except for Spain, where he had the retirement. So he's on 26 points. Then on 8th, equal with Grosjean, is Paul di Resta, the Force India. Now the Force India team has had the best starts they've ever had to a season this season. Even better than 2012. They should have scored more points actually if you looked at their pace and you looked at how things went, because Sutil got hit by Gutierrez in China, which was completely not his fault, and that pit stop problems they had in Malaysia with the wheel nut, that isn't really what happened, because that wasn't on track. That was unlucky. So they were both in the points at that point. So if you actually add it up, Sutil should be in the top 10 as well. But Sutil is really good at Monaco, so expect him to be back. Then we have Nico Rosberg on 22 points. Now, Nico Rosberg has been really unlucky this season. Firstly, in Malaysia, he got told to stay behind his teammate despite him having better pace, so arguably he should have had a podium. He's had 2 poles now, Bahrain and Spain. People didn't expect Bahrain for him to get pole, but he did it. And then you have Jenson Button in 10th on 17 points for McLaren. Now, that's a bad place to be for McLaren. But it's encouraging, although it may not seem right, it's encouraging that the McLaren in race pace at least can somehow draw a little bit back from its rivals. But we will see as it goes to Monaco. But looking ahead to Monaco, we have the Mercedes is the qualifying beast, and as you see, I'm driving a Mercedes in the footage. But the Mercedes is the beast in qualifying, and because the Mercedes has such a good front end to the car, the Red Bull has the best back end to the car. Monaco is all about the front, and China was all about the front. So you can see where Mercedes were strong. You can see the comparison. So expect the Mercedes to be really, really strong in Monaco, especially as they got pole here last year with Michael Schumacher. He had a grid penalty, but he got pole in qualifying, so that shouldn't be discounted. So, and this car's even better than last year's car. So expect Mercedes to do that, but because it's a street circuit and it's really all about track position, you could expect some real surprise from Mercedes. They could win the race, potentially. It depends really entirely on the conditions of the circuit at the time and how the traffic goes and how the pit stops go. will all count into how Mercedes does in Monaco. Red Bull, they'll be up there. For sure, they'll be up there. There's no point of them not being up there. Now, Lotus, now they've been interesting because they said that we have a really good race pace, but we don't have that good of qualifying. And they say they're going to focus almost entirely on qualifying because they realise how important track position is at Monaco. But they say they can definitely see a front row. Now, the Lotus has only ever had one front row, as far as I can remember, of Raikkonen I'm talking about, which was China this year, but that was really because of the tyre situation. Not many people went out and he had a good lap and other people didn't. So you can't really say that's a proper... Well, I'm not sure how to say about it. But anyway, it's going to be unlikely they're going to be on the front row, but expect them to be somewhere up there. They had a terrible race last year. They only scored like 2 points. So that's Lotus. McLaren expect nothing special. Ferrari. Now, Ferrari will be strong at Monaco. They will. I think they have the best chance of winning this race because of the fact that they're quite good in qualifying and really good in the race. So I think they will triumph. They'll start behind the Mercedes and get past them and Massa all on, or both of them, and then we'll finish on past. But those are the people who I think can win the race. Surprises for maybe podiums is the Force Indias, especially Sutil, who has great history around the track. He was 4th in 2008, Force India, which is much slower than in comparison to the Force India of today. And was in 4th before Raikkonen crashed into him. He'll be hoping that doesn't happen this time. But Paddy Lowe has moved to Mercedes. Now that's just, we expected that. But that is pretty much it from me. This has been Alex Dopp, and I'll see you next time.